Well, we're having a lovely morning's fishing here at Cudmore on the new F1 Specialist pellets. We can get this one in. I've had a few that's fallen off. Hopefully we don't show you the outtakes. You don't do that to me, Mark, would you? You wouldn't do that. Come on, don't fall off. I want to show you. I want to show you what I've been catching. Lovely little F1's. Found a bit of weed on the way in. That's a small one actually of what we've had today. We've had them up to about £1.5. And they've all been caught on our brand new, as I said before, F1 Specialist pellets. So, without further ado, let me show you how to prepare them. Please, because I want to go and catch some more. Our new range of F1 pellets and ground baits and liquids and everything for all you lovely people then. I want to talk you through first how I prepare the micros. There's lovely things that you can put on them, as I say, our liquids. We can put a little bit of ground bait on, just give it a bit of extra attraction. And also, we've got these lovely new durable pellets that stay on. You can actually cast with them with waggler and tip and all that. Proper, you know, it's all proper. But first things first, let me show you how to prepare these micros. So, just cut open the bag like so. A little cut in there. Get rid of that because we don't want to litter. We're not littery people. Just put a few in. Don't need any more than that for a winter session. We do really. I'm going to put a few more in. There we go, just a few in there. And then all I've got in here is just lake water. Now, at this stage, if you wanted to put a bit of liquid into that, you could do. It depends what you want to do. Because it's kind of a sweet liquid, I want to wait until the water starts to warm up a bit then it'll really get into the pellets and let off more attraction. So just for now, I'm going to let the flavour that's on the pellets, let them get the fish into the peg. So I'm just going to cover them with water. Now we might have to do a bit of clever editing here because you need to leave them in water when it's cold like this for about 8 to 10 minutes. And then what I'll do with them is completely drain all the water off. I'll show you how to do that in a sec. And then again at that stage, if you wanted to, you could put more liquids on, this, that and the other. When they're soaked, you can actually put 2 or 3 of them on a hook as well. It's fantastic, it's been working really well for me. I say it's proper cold today, it's nice and windy as well, and we're catching loads of fish, and I'm convinced it's these pellets that are bringing them in. So let's sort of like cut back in about 8 to 10 minutes when these are bang on. Bees! Here we are then, as if by magic, 10 minutes later. Well, it's probably 11 minutes later, but we're not counting. So, pellets, you see, they've all expanded up nice and lovely in the water. So what we're going to do, make sure you get a nice fine landing net. Not this big stuff here, a nice fine one. And what we want to do, pellets straight into the bottom there. So all that water will flow through it, because most riddles you get, unless you get like a really fine pinky riddle, the pellets will just go right through it. Squeeze all that off, put them back into the tub, and then hey presto, they're all done. You could feed them straight away as they were. I tend to leave them for about another 10 minutes now. At this stage you can put a little bit of ground bait on them, you know, if you want that extra little bit of attraction flowing through the water. But after 10 minutes you can see that's what they'll go to. The other thing that's brilliant, this is how I prepare them for the method as well, or pellet feeder. You know, you can make little tiny balls out of them. When you're fishing in sort of deep water, you don't necessarily want to feed them loose, because you don't know where they're ending up, if there's any mat of tow or anything. So by feeding them in a ball, they go straight down there, start down to the bottom where the fish are, and then you can see I've just got one of these durables on there. When they start to break up, get one of them hookers in there, boosh, fish sees it, it's fish on. So without further ado, I want to go and catch some more fishies. Let me go, I'm gonna go! Right, so I want to talk you through my basic approach to target these winter F1's. First things first, you want a nice soft elastic. I'm going to fish in small fine wire hooks, light lines, so the worst thing in the world you can do is fish too heavy elastic, because you'd just be bumping fish all day long then. So I've got the MAP 3 to 6 hollow elastic, very light, you know. A little baby F1 about that big will take like 4 foot of it out, maybe about 2 foot then, but it's lovely and light. Next thing, we'll come back to the little pot. So I'm just going to like be half filling that with the micros, hardly putting any bait in at all. You want the fish to pick your hook bait out. If you put too many pellets in or too much bait, you're just going to kill your swim dead. Now what I've got today is 3 swims on the go. I've got 2 across in the same depth of water and 1 down the middle. I'm fishing pellets on all the lines. You'll notice I've got quite a bit of line between my pole tip and float. That's because it's quite windy. And also you notice the back shots just above the float. Now what them will enable you to do is to keep that float absolutely bang on your marker. It's such precise fishing this time of year, you've got to be bang on your markers. Main line is 0.13, my hook length is 0.10. The float, as you can see, is just a nice streamlined pattern really, just to detect them very, very shy bites. I mean, what's happening, the bites I'm getting today, they're just sort of shaking the float, they're hardly bites at all. You just want them to pull your float under, but unfortunately it doesn't really always happen this time of year, so any little dink or movement on that float, give it a lift and you'll be into the fish. And that's why it's imperative with them back shots. You notice as well, they're thinking, why is that baldy got Tipex on his back shots? What's he doing? That's simply because the water over there is dark. Now obviously the colour of shots are dark, you won't be able to see them in the dark water. So by Tipexing them out, you'll be able to see them. So you just want them just above the surface of the water, just so you can see them all the time. Always thinking me, you know, and oh, we're fast on platform, I better get the hook out. Right, I'll just get the hook out and then talk you through the rig a bit more. So I've roughly got about, what, sort of 3.5 getting on for 4 foot there. Now again, that's very important for the time of year. I like to sort of fish for depth of the time of year. So summertime, we're not in summer yet, but I'm going to talk you through it anyway. You're looking at sort of 2 foot and less. Coming into sort of like spring, autumn, it's like 2 to 3 foot. But this time of year, sort of winter, you're looking at 3 to 4 foot. So I've put it around sort of 3.5, 4 foot, and I've gone and found, you know, that depth. That's what you want to do, nice and easy then. Hook length, as I say, is 0.10, 6 inches, and we've got a nice fine wire. It's a 16 hook. You might think that's a bit big, but it's not a very big hook. It's a black gamma, very, very fine, but very sharp. I've had it in my finger a few times. It hurts. And then coming up the line, you see from the top of the hook length, we've got a series of number 11 shots. There's actually 7. There's 7 number 11 shots there. Now, shots or stots, it doesn't really make a blind bit of difference. Personally, I like using shots because stots just move a little bit too much on the line. I don't like them moving on the line because then you're always putting them back into the place that you want them to. So just use shots and you won't move. So as I say, 0.13 to 0.10, nice fine wire hook. Onto that, we're putting one of these little beauties on. Now, there's a right way and a wrong way really of hooking an expander or a pellet. You notice the shape of the pellet. The sort of like the grain is running down. I don't know if you can see that. The grain's running down that way. So what you want to do is pull the pellet round to the side, and then you want to put the hook, or the ook, as some people would say. Some Yorkshire folk or Lancashire folk would say ook or book. You want to put the hook right through the middle of it, and then just roll it round. That way, as I said, with these new durable pellets, you can cast them on a waggler, you can tuck a tip out and they don't come off, they're brilliant. But that way you can have a few strikes, because one of the main things about fishing with expanders is, if you're a bit heavy-handed like me and you strike too hard, it falls off, so you've got to come all the way back and put another one on. But they stay on until you hook a fish, perfect. So that's on. I plumbed to sort of like, actually let's go through plumbing up as well. So how I plumb this up, when I'm fishing with pellets, I like to plumb up to sort of like the bottom of the bristle. When I'm fishing with natural baits, maggots, casters, worms, I'll plumb up to sort of like just below the body, a little bit more over depth. But with pellets, the fish will just sort of like suck them in. You won't really see a bite this time of year, so that's why you've got to plumb more or less dead depth. I've got a tiny little bit of grease on there, so you only got sort of like, what, 7-8 mil of float showing. So when that just sort of like shakes a little bit, it's game on, there's a fish on. So coming back down, ready to ship out now. All I'm going to do is get some of our prepared micros. I'm not going to fill it up completely, I'm just going to put about half in. You see, I've only put half in. I'm just going to push them down so they don't come out when I'm shipping out. Now all I'm going to do there is ship across. Make sure you keep an eye on that pole all the time. If your rollers are right, you don't need to look behind you. Keep an eye on that pole all the time, making sure your bait's not falling out. And then when I get across there, I'm going to tip the pellets in, lift the rig out about sort of a foot, 18 inches, count to 5 or 6, then just lower it nice and slow, so that bait, in fact, have you got it in there, Matt? Have you got it on there? Right, so I'll show you what I'm going to do. When I get across there, dip the pole in the water, tap the pellets out, and then you want to hold that float out, as I say, about a foot to 18 inches. Count to sort of 5 or 6 or 7 or 12 or 15. And then what you want to do is just lower that float, so you can imagine that your hook bait is going down the same speed as your micros. I know it looks a bit high there, but we're probably about 12 foot over depth fishing down the edge. I just wanted to show you, I just wanted to show you, because I'm that kind of guy. And also, think I wouldn't have that elastic dangling either. I'm professional now, I'm professional. So I want to go and catch an F1. Let's see it in full speed, full motion. These! Look at that little lot. What a couple of hours fishing I've had. Probably fished not a bit longer than 2 hours, probably 2.5, maybe 3 hours. We've probably got the best part of £30, just over £30 of F1's there. It's been a fabulous day, and it just goes to prove the effectiveness of them new F1 specialist pellets. I've also winkled out a mirror as well. Look at that beauty! It's just been absolutely brilliant. Rotating the lines, you know, catching a couple of fish off one, and then resting it, going to another swim. That's the key for this time of year. So little bits of bait, an experiment with them, put a little bit of liquid on, maybe a little bit of ground bait over your micros, and you too could have success like this. Oh yeah! Let's get them back for another day.